Okay, so let's go through the rules for the bullish trade setup, the bullish system here, and then the bearish system is basically just the inverse. We'll go through both of them, but let's start here with the bullish. So here's our entry confirmation. Entry confirmation, and what you see here is you see the place where you can put a checklist in here, a check mark in here. Have we hit it? So here's the confirmation we're looking for. Is the price above the cloud? Yes or no? Is the tin can above the key June? If the answer is yes, then you put a check. If the answer is no, then you don't put a check. Is the Chiku in the clear? Are we clear to trade higher? Remember, this is for a bullish trade setup, so we need Chiku in the clear. Is there any other obvious resistance? Sometimes you're looking at it and you say there's obvious resistance coming up, and if it's there, then you just have to say, I can't trade this because there's obvious resistance. But if there's no additional obvious resistance. And then next, we need our future cloud to be looking bullish. So the future cloud is looking bullish and the tin can is pointing up. These are the entry confirmations. All of these need to be met or else we do not take the trade. We do not even consider it unless all of the criteria are met. Next, let's look at the setup and the trigger. We're going to set the alert just below the resistance area. So as you start to come up into the resistance area, your alert goes off. You can have it sent to your cell phone. You can have an email alert sent. You can set this up in your broker. You can have these alerts sent to you. And when you get to that price point, it starts either sending you text messages or emails or whatever and says, hey, alert, Bob, this trade could be coming in. If you're trading a daily chart, that's fine even if it comes to your email because this is a daily chart. It's not going to evolve over the next 10 minutes. It's not that timely. So you're going to have plenty of time. You just need to be alerted that, hey, this trade is coming into its own and it might be triggering soon. Next, once you have the alert, you go back through, you verify the email or the entry confirmations, and now we're going to set a buy trigger above the swing high point plus the buffer. So what's the buffer? We're going to determine the buffer at approximately 1/3 to 1/2 of the average true range. So stick your average true range on your chart and you look at that number. Whatever that number is, take 1/3 to 1/2 of that number, add that as your entry buffer, and that's where you're going to set the entry for this trade. Then once we get into the trade, how do we manage it? Here's your money management. Your initial stop is going to be at the key June minus your buffer. So whatever your buffer is, take the key June line. We're going to put that as our initial stop minus the buffer, because buffer is going to go below the key June line here. It's going to go as below your trade, obviously, because it's a bullish trade. So initial stop at the key June minus the buffer. Adjust the stop every day with the key June, sticking with your buffer. And then if your candlesticks present a reversal signal, adjust the stop to equal the Sen Q-A line. So put it exactly where the Sen Q-A line is. This is the system. And then adjust to the tin can line if your profit is very large and it's at risk. So if you have a very large profit and it's at risk, just go immediately to that tightest line, which is the 10Q line. That's essentially setting it in line with your moving average. You don't even need the buffer. Just set it right there with the line. And then finally, never, ever, ever exceed the initial drawdown risk. Never exceed the initial risk drawdown. All right, so if your initial risk on this trade is 100 pips, or if it's $10 on a stock trade, or whatever you're trading, whatever that initial drawdown is, never exceed that. You're always tightening your stops, and you're never loosening those stops up. This is the bullish trading system. It works. It's really good. This is a checklist for you. It's in your notebook. Now what we're going to do is we're going to get over and we're going to start testing it in just a minute. But first, in the next video, I'm going to walk through the bearish trade setup system for you.